What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 28 of the Corn-Fed Sports Entertainment Podcast. Hope everyone's doing well since I last talked to y'all. It's officially fall now. The weather has definitely taken a turn. It's starting to get chilly out there, which means postseason baseball. Also means the Cubs won't be participating for the first time since 2014. Needless to say, super upset about it. Super disappointed. Just all around terrible time to be a Cubs fan again. Obviously, we still have 2016, but I mean, we were expecting a lot coming into this season. Didn't pan out. So back to the drawing board this offseason. But well, I'm going to leave that whole debate and I guess rants, you can call it, for when Timmy gets back. He's not going to make it tonight, so I'm just going to throw a little something out for all you guys. Diehard listeners, we appreciate y'all. So if you don't like me, don't like my voice, this isn't the episode for you again. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the support we get from everybody so far. Gotta love it. We appreciate it more than you guys know. And actually, I'm recording on a new mic tonight. We got some new microphones. I think I kind of test drove it a little bit. It sounded really good. So let me know if you guys like that too. I think it's going to improve the quality. We've actually just been recording on our phones. So, I mean, it sounds okay, but you can tell, compared to some professional audio and some of the other stuff you maybe hear, podcast wise and just recording in general, that it's not as good. So hopefully that helps. Like I said, I test drove it, so I think it's going to help a lot. If you haven't, checked us out on any of our social medias, make sure you do that. We're pretty active on there. We can get our feedback from y'all, and we appreciate that. But our Twitter is @CornSports. Our Instagram is CornFedSports1. Our Facebook is facebook.com/CornFedSports1. And our blog website is cornfedsports1.blogspot.com. Tonight's episode, probably not going to be as long as normal, but I just wanted to get something out. Like I said, got the weekly crazy sports story tonight again. Going to touch on there's been a lot of controversy, it seems like, especially in the state of Iowa, which isn't really, normal because that doesn't happen a whole lot. But going to touch on the whole Carson King story, which for those that don't know, he's the guy that made the sign for College Game Day about Busch Light fund being low. So he threw out his Venmo handle. So I'll touch on that later. And then going to touch on the all of it's from the Iowa State game, uniquely. But the Iowa State band situation and talks of maybe canceling the game now and just putting it on pause because there's been a huge issue. Somebody broke their ribs, I guess, in the band, and just, moving forward, a bunch of crazy stuff. And then, then we're going to get back into the NFL football a little bit, just kind of what I've noticed so far. And that should be about it. And then obviously wrapping her up for the night. That's going to be a great episode. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. So first, going to go in the crazy sports story of the week. There's a lot of them out there. I've been doing this crazy research. You wouldn't believe. Just go to Google and type in bizarre sports stories or crazy sports stories or unique sports stories. There's so many out there. There's a couple that really touched in my mind that I remember too. The one I just want to touch on it again. It's hilarious. But when Jameis Winston was at Florida State and that whole crab legs thing, he was trying to steal crab legs, and like his whole time at Florida State was just bizarre in general. So that can be a whole story. The crab legs, he was stealing them, and then he was getting up on tables in the dining halls and yelling the wildest stuff. I'm not going to repeat it because it was pretty wild, if I recall. And all the allegations and the sexual misconduct that he did. So, I mean, his time in Florida State was bizarre for sure. But the one I really wanted to touch on was Luis Suarez. This whole situation was insane. He's kind of gotten past it, but for those that don't know, he's a great soccer player. he had a problem. He was biting people mid-game, and it actually kind of reached its peak in the World Cup the year, and he bit the player, and he was, how soccer is. Like, he was the one acting like he got shot, but he actually just bit a dude, and you could see he even had a scar, or not a scar, just a mark. And yeah, it just was the wildest thing. Like, why would you ever think to bite somebody, let alone, in a soccer game of all things too? It kind of reminds you of the Mike Tyson Holyfield fight where he bit his ear off. I guess that's the only other one. Oh man, and he did it, like I said, more than once. So it's just insane. In FIFA, he got suspended out of the whole thing, 4 months out of it, which is a long time in FIFA because they play a lot. But and it was also this. I'm just looking it up now on Bleacher Report has a little article. It was his third offense biting somebody. So I would think after the first one, you'd maybe get a little bit of a suspension or a big fine, just kind of, put the kibosh on it right away. But 3 times before he got suspended for 4 months. So that's my bizarre sports story of the week, I guess. A little interesting tidbit, I guess, for those that didn't know. My next one, though, we're gonna touch on the Carson King story, which unbelievable. The whole thing, just like from the start, has been not a weird story, but just so unique that it's hard to believe. But for those that don't know, Carson King, I think he went to Iowa State. He's an Iowa State fan. He was front row at College Game Day, which is the big sports show on ESPN on Saturdays during college football. I guess they have one for college basketball too, but it's not as well known and respected and liked, I guess. But anyways, he was front row at that, and he put in the sign, Bush Light Fund is low, and then he put his Venmo. So, and then people started sending ridiculous amount of money. He kept making money. He's like, wow, this is actually going somewhere, and then he finally kept going. He's like, all right, I'm going to do something about this. So he decided to donate it all to the Children's Hospital in Iowa City, which is awesome because great cause. Obviously, they a lot of issues, and I mean, they're kids, so you just feel awful for them because no kid deserves, not necessarily anybody deserves it, but especially, the kids out there. And he selflessly, he just, here, I don't want the money. You guys at the Children's Hospital take it. So then people kept donating. And then, Anheuser-Busch, who makes Busch Light, obviously, and then Venmo both said, all right, we'll, match whatever and help donate too. So, the money keeps coming in, and then all of a sudden they're over $1 million. Unbelievable, first of all, but awesome to see. Then news comes out yesterday, that the Des Moines Register actually posted. They were digging through all of his old tweets. He's a young guy. He's 24 years old, not very old. He's been around pretty much the whole social media age, since he's been in high school, whatnot. So they're digging through his tweets or whatever, which happens a lot in, the grand scheme of things. You see on, professional athletes, people about to get drafted by, NFL teams or NBA teams, MLB teams. They're all, going through their tweets and they find something. So, I mean, obviously you feel bad for the guy kind of because what came out. He had some, I guess, racist tweets. He didn't tweet them, I guess. He retweeted them for those that don't know, from Daniel Tosh or his show, Tosh.0, which I don't even know if that show exists anymore. It was on Comedy Central. They just show funny videos and funny clips and just random stuff that, just being crazy, being silly, just like really ridiculous and wild stuff that you wouldn't, expect. And that was kind of after the Chappelle show, that was kind of the forefront of the movement that we're, being not being afraid to make fun of somebody's, heritage, but like in a fun way, like all the heritages, I should say. Um, but I guess I'm reading on here they were pretty offensive. But he was a sophomore in high school, so in 2012. But I don't know. Oop, I had an ad pop up there. But the whole thing is just, I don't know. It's super sad because obviously, still is doing great things for the Children's Hospital. Over $1 million. That's insane. Obviously, you never want to support any of this stuff, racism, sexism, or any of that. But I don't know. We all make mistakes. Obviously, he was 16 years old. I'd like to think I'm a lot different than I was when I was 16. I feel like I'm a better person. A lot more aware of things like that. In social media, it's just the whole thing shows that how careful you really, really need to be when you're posting stuff on there, because things are going to come back to bite you no matter what happens. It's going to happen. So you need to, if you haven't already done this, speaking to people around my age, go through your social medias, make sure you don't have anything stupid on there that can get you in trouble that you tweeted when you were 16, 17 years old, or just delete it and start a new one. That's a good way to do it, because those would probably be gone. But yeah, here it says that, or wait, it goes, so the Des Moines Register is kind of, they are the ones that brought this out, but the person that actually brought this to light, he actually tweeted offensive tweets by the same reporter in 2010 and 2013, making light of abusing women and mocking same-sex marriage, the Washington Post reports. So that's, just as bad, if not worse, like abuse, like especially women, like, come on, not to compare which is worse or which is better, but they're all terrible things, obviously. But he came out right away. Carson King came out right away and said he was embarrassed and stunned by his offensive and hurtful attempts at humor as a teen, which we can all respect because, we've all been teens, all said stupid things. Like I said, I feel like most people get better and, improve their life choices and overall character as they get older. So, you feel for the guy for that, especially like 2-3 weeks ago, nobody knew who he was. And now everybody, and he's, especially in Iowa, he's a Iowa legend now. How many people can say they've raised over $1 million for, one of the biggest organizations in the state? Bush before this all was doing also, well, Anheuser-Busch dropped him. They cut all ties with him like less than an hour after the news came out. Which it's crazy because like I said, it was like bang, 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 and now we're here. But they made that can for him, and they put Carson King, Iowa legend, with his face on it. I don't know if I'm guessing they're not doing that anymore, obviously, because they cut all ties. They actually came out with a statement saying that he's got values that don't align with our brand or our company. I get why, Anheuser-Busch did it right away. Nobody wants to be attached to, any sort of racial or, inappropriate, terrible, awful things that, our societies, shouldn't be fans of. But I'm not sure they really looked into this one too much. They just, heard the news and instantly said, peace, see you later. We're out. Which, whatever they want to do, it's their organization. They have the right to make whatever moves they want to do. You see people get dropped all the time within, I guess he wasn't really an endorsed person, more so, kind of just a partnership, I would say, donating money. But the whole situation, it kind of sucks the way it turned out for him. But I think honestly, he'll be all right though. Moving forward, there seems to be a ton of support out there for him already. I've seen some people post, kind of some of the things I was saying, that you shouldn't let a tweet from when you were 15 years old, 16 years old, define who you are, especially now as a person. That was for him, almost 9 years ago, which changes a lot in 9 years, especially, our world has changed a ton the last 9 years. 2010 was a completely different ball game. Social media was just kind of starting to blow up a little um, now it's obviously huge. Everything, anything and everything is ran through social media and today. So, you know, I'm thinking, honestly, I was thinking about this during the break that I just had. I might have to ask Mr. King if he would like to come on the podcast. That would be awesome, actually. Just kind of talk to him about how this whole idea came, and obviously, he didn't think it was going to blow up, and like just kind of hear his side of the whole situation. And I don't know if we'll necessarily talk about the negatives, but I mean, maybe a little bit if he decides to come on, just kind of ask him. But obviously, we want to focus on the good. Over $1 million raised, donated. I mean, that's a lot of damn money. So props to him, though. Being a great leader. I mean, I was telling people, I was like, if I saw all this money rolling in, it'd be so hard. Like, be like, damn, I'm just gonna keep this money. Like, not saying I wouldn't donate it, but like, if you saw that much money, that's tough to give away. But I mean, knowing he's just making a joke of it, like turned it into something awesome. That's awesome. Like, and, I've heard people say he's a all around great guy. Gone on mission trips before. Just looking at his Facebook and other things, looks like he's got things together. So that's always good. But I'm gonna encourage you guys, if you haven't, get on Venmo. If you don't have Venmo, download it. Go donate to the guy. He's not to the guy, I guess, more so. Well, to the guy and to the organization, the Iowa Children's Hospital. It's awesome. Gotta love the kids. Anything for the kids. Like I said, feel terrible for them. So just trying to help him out a little bit. I actually donated tonight to him to give to the Children's Hospital. So, I'm glad I decided to do that. Hope the money keeps going up, man. If that could, I don't know if it can get to 2 million, but if it could get to 2 million, that'd be insane. So, go donate. Actually, his Venmo, I'm gonna give it to you quick. It's at Carson, CARCON hyphen King, KING, obviously, capital K, capital C on the Carson, and then hyphen 25, just the number, so 25. So at Carson hyphen it King hyphen it 25. So thanks for doing that. Great cause. Go out there, support the kids, support the state. They do awesome, great work there at the hospital over in Iowa City. So, as always, looking forward to this Saturday, seeing the first quarter wave again. Whenever it's not football season, it's always great to get back into it and then see that way. Like, how much it means to those kids. Just seeing it makes their whole probably week, honestly, and then the next week they get to see it again. So that's just awesome. Got to support them. And as always, go Hawks, baby. Should get to the old 4-0 this weekend. So great to see. Keep it rolling, boys. Probably not going to touch on it too much. They got an opponent they should roll through, Middle Tennessee State. I don't really know how. I just saw it. I'm in a text group with one of I'm pretty sure it's the Des Moines Register, Iowa reporter that covers it. I cannot remember his name right now for some reason. It's Chad. Actually, Chad Ludovitz or something like that. He's got his Lysticko. There we go. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, he is the Hawkeye sports columnist for the Des Moines Register and Press Citizen. Actually, it's kind of like a group text message. They set up somehow, I don't know, through the Register. And he only offered it to like 200 people. And like, I saw the tweet and I just signed up right away. And so I'm in it. and I actually get a bunch of texts from him. Like he probably sends 2 or 3 a day, just kind of about the football team and sometimes kind of being funny or random stuff in the Midwest. Today he said he didn't seem very high on some of the people that were injured in the Iowa State game to return this week, which I don't know if they'll necessarily need them. The injured guys, Hankins, Jackson, Reef, Brents, Moss, Merriweather, a lot of defensive players, one of the best tackles in the league, or in the whole NCAA out. Obviously, bigger concerns getting them back for Michigan in 2 weeks. It's going to be a huge game for the Hawks, big challenge on the road, Ann Arbor. One of my buddies is going to the game, so I'm pumped for that for him. Should be awesome. Should be a blast. But yeah, so which I don't really feel the need to rush them back. If they don't need to play, why play them? We should be able to handle them without them. We beat Iowa State without them, so we should be able to handle Middle Tennessee State without them. Now I guess moving forward, good look for a blowout in that game. I got 40-7. Hawks taking it to them. Moving forward, though, now back to some more controversy. A little bit of a controversial episode, you might say. For those that don't know or have been living under a rock for the last couple weeks, the Iowa State-Iowa game caused for a lot of drama. Obviously on the field, but then off the field. There's a big band incident, which we touched on this last week, me and Timmy. The whole situation was just bizarre. Iowa's athletic director just kind of stumbling around with, I don't know. He said they were gonna look into the situation, and then he came back later and said after Iowa State's AD, what is his name, Pollard? Yeah, Jamie Pollard came out and said, everything's fine. I don't know exactly what he said, something like that. And then he's like, the Iowa athletic director said, "Oh, we're no longer pursuing charges." And then a bunch of people were speaking out from the Iowa band, and somebody apparently got their ribs broken, and got bottles thrown at him, harassed pretty bad. There was a sexually harassment, I guess. So I don't know, crazy stuff going on. Like, my only question is why? Like, first of all, we're all, Iowans. First of all, going back to the whole Carson King thing. So not sure why and especially why are you picking on the band members? Come on, they're in the band for. This sounds terrible, but they're in the band for a reason. Their chances are some of them aren't very big. Not to stereotype, I guess, but so why pick on the band? If you're gonna be a dumbass, sorry my language, go pick on some drunk idiot in the stand somewhere. Like, if you want to really tussle with somebody, go pick on a drunk idiot. Come on, throw down with them. Try and break their ribs if you really think you need to do that to somebody, especially like a 20-year-old kid. Come on, like we're better than that. First of all, like, and I'm sure not the Iowa fan base probably isn't innocent by any means either. So I don't want to rag on the Iowa State whole situation with that, but this is the first time we've ever heard of something, especially to this magnitude. So, but why pick on them? My only question. That's so crazy to me. I've been reading a lot of articles too. It's like they need to pause and not necessarily cancel the series, just pause it, just because this whole situation is terrible. It is terrible. It's very sad. When you break somebody's ribs, there's nothing wrong with, a little, verbal abuse if it's not, too, I guess, vulgar, it's like, making fun of them for being in the band. God, it sounds like I'm just hating on the band. I'm really not, but, or, just being an Iowa guy or, a Hawkeye, like that stuff's fair game. Like, you expect to be booed, expect to be, jabbed a little bit with some, words, but nothing to the magnitude, like I said, of this. That's insane. But yeah, I don't know, man. I could see him. This Iowa president was not very happy about it. He wants to. He's a big proponent to pausing the series, which I would not be surprised if they did. Honestly, I saw a couple reactions to it, and it was pretty good. It's like, I mean, honestly, Iowa should cancel it. You know, they moved up more in the rankings on a bye week than they did when they beat Iowa State on the road. So, I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean, it's good for the state. You know, a lot of big rivalry. But when that stuff happens, man, that's too far. I mean, sports, like I said, me and Tim talk about this all the time. Sports sometimes we take way too seriously, and it's just sad when something like this happens. Like I don't really get in the verbal altercations. Like, I mean, not when I'm attending, but or even when I'm just texting some buddies, I don't really say anything. Like, just because like I know like if somebody were to say that to me, I'd get mad and wouldn't enjoy it at all, and then just be super pissed off at them, and so that's just really kind of my MO on the whole thing. Like, there's nothing wrong, like a little friendly trash talk, it's part of the game. If you can't handle that, I mean, you're not necessarily cut out to be a sports fan, I would say. So it'll be interesting going forward what happens with this series. I think the contract's up after next year, so could be interesting to see what happens. I mean, like I talked to Tim about too, it's if Iowa State hadn't been stepping its game up here in the past 5 years, then I would have dropped it instantly. The series does nothing for you if they wouldn't have turned their program around, because you lose to them, they're bottom of a barrel program, so that just looks terrible on your resume, and you're not going to get the recruits you want from that necessarily. And then if you beat them, it's just like, okay, you should have beat them. So doesn't help your resume either way, but it's turning around. Campbell's done a great job, so hopefully that continues, and we'll see what happens with this series going forward. I could see it continuing for sure, and I also could see them canceling it. So we'll see. They didn't play for a very long time there. I'm gonna look that up quick. I don't know why they couldn't agree on something, I know, but they didn't play for I want to say 20, 25 years. I don't know if it's quite that long, but let me see. I mean, Iowa's got the 5-game win streak going on, of course. The trophy design's always been crazy, Iowa obviously leads the all-time series, 45-22, which you gotta love. So let me see here. All right. Started in 1894. Played pretty well every year until 1920. Yeah, looks like every year till 1920. Then they didn't play again till 1933. Then they played in 1944, or 1934, excuse me. Then they didn't play till 1977. So they went, let's see, 43 years without playing, which is insane. Didn't play. I mean, football was obviously a lot different then, but that's a long time. Then they started it back up 77. Then they played every year, pretty much every year since then. It looks like, yeah, every year since then. Wow, it's crazy. So they're going on what? 87, 97, 2007, 2017. So 40 some years, about 42 years. So we'll see. That's just a lot of tradition. So they might keep that going. And it's a well-known rivalry. People respect it too. Especially, with the game day covering it this year, it's kind of gained a whole new level. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens with it. It's going to be fun. Fun to watch. But don't pick on your band members. That's not cool. Gotta love the band. I mean, especially college football, there's nothing better than sitting there with a band and just hearing some of the songs they play. I love it. I love it so much. So much fun to be in that atmosphere and just live it. And then even at home, you can hear the band and you're just like, oh, getting pumped up. And the best thing ever is the Gator Chomp after Iowa gets a stop on third down. My favorite band song right there. And Obviously, the Victory Polka, Heaven There Is No Beer. Great songs. Gotta love them. So, I don't think there's really anything else I want to touch on that controversy. We said we'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna, touch on the NFL here a little bit. NFL has been going quick already. We're 3 games in. Wanted to get an episode in tonight because the week 4 starts tomorrow. Green Bay, the Pack Attack, baby, 3-0, playing the Eagles, who I believe are 1-2. Let me check that out. But yeah, I wanted to get an episode out tonight just so we could go fresh next episode with the week, the NFL week, because I'm not gonna want to record tomorrow when the game's on. So, but yeah, there's been a lot happening. Lots of fun stuff. There's a couple things that really stood out to me. The one, obviously, being a Packers fan, their defense, man, looking tough. I don't know. We'll see moving forward how great they are, but they got the look of a really good to great offense or defense, excuse me. So, their corners are great. They getting some great pass rush up front, which is needed. Their linebackers are solid. Martinez is a tackling machine. Kenny Clark's one of the best nose tackles, D lineman in the whole league. He's an animal up there. He's going to get paid soon, so look for that as well. But the Eagles are 1-2. Some of the other things, I'll stay in division. NFC North might be the best division in football. There's a lot of really good teams. 3-0 for the Packers. Lions 2-0-1. They tied the first game of the year to the Cardinals. Vikings are 2-1. Great defense there. Bears 2-1. Great defense. Probably the best defense in the league there. So this is going to be all year thing. I'm going to guess the Lions are going to start to fade out a little bit, but they got some, like I wrote that blog post, they got some intriguing pieces. So I wouldn't be surprised, but if they don't fade out, but kind of expecting one a little bit. And then also, we touched last week all the injuries at quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater stepped in nice for the Saints, got him a big win. Kamara dominated that game. That was a great game for me, by the way, in my fantasy league. Kamara dominated. Russell Wilson had a huge game, so I'm going to take that all day. Cam Newton's out. There's been a lot of tweets about Cam Newton and that commercial from that's probably 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, where he's doing the NFL Play 60 commercial, and that kid's super young, super white kid, and he's like telling him he's going to take his spot someday, and he's like, well, it's actually happening now, Cam. Sorry. Some of the other things, especially in the NFC, that have stood out, 49ers 3-0. I'm not sure how good they are. Their schedule's a little weak right now, but a lot better than last year. Jimmy Garoppolo's back. George Kittle is still a stud. Their defense is looking pretty good. Sherman looks like he's producing decent level. Then also the Rams, man. They are great on the road. I've been listening to SiriusXM a ton because I got it for free here for a couple months. They're like, I think they said 15-3 since, or no, McVay is 15-3 on the road since he took over, which is insane. That's a great record. If you're going to produce like that on the road, you're going to win a lot of ball games. He's a great coach. He's one of my favorite coaches in the league. Here's hoping some of the players get healthy, though. I really hope, it's good for the game. Have the best players out there, the most noticeable players. But yeah. Also, this Monday night game, the Redskins, they're up there with the Dolphins for the worst team in the league. They are pathetic. Not good at all. Man, a little rough over there on the east side, baby. Dan Snyder, he just needs to sell the team. He hasn't done anything. And all the whole stuff with him, whatever. I hate to say it also. I think the Cowboys are for real. They are tough. They got a good squad. Their roster construction is beautiful. built from the O-line. Their O-line's probably the best in football. A lot of high picks in that. Good finds. Great running back Zeke and Dak. Man, I've always been a hater on him. He's really stepping it up this year. He's looking like he might be a quarterback, and they're gonna have to pay him. But he did decline that huge offer this offseason. So I mean, if he keeps producing like this, though, he's gonna outplay what they were offering him even. So watch that, Cowboy fans. We'll see what happens. Cooper and Zeke, studs. They can keep the core intact. Got some studs in the defensive side of the ball too. That Jalen, he's a baller. Picked him up late because he tore his ACL, I believe, and he had to sit out most of his first rookie year and just dominated since then. So some of the other teams, NFC North, Falcons, not NFC North, excuse me, just NFC. Falcons just super disappointing since their Super Bowl loss. They've never really recovered. Might be time to blow some of that up, get some new pieces in there. Matt Ryan's not been the same quarterback since then. So it'll be interesting to watch that. Moving forward, though, let's go AFC, baby. Patriots, they're looking scary good. You like our preseason predictions, the Chiefs and the Patriots are going to be right there. Obviously, they're probably the two best teams, but that Patriots defense is looking scary, and the offense is looking scary too. Patriots are in such a weak division. They might, be able to rest guys the last 5 weeks of the season and still win number 1 or number 2 seed. So, the Dolphins are 0-3. The Jets are 0-3, not doing a whole lot. Their quarterbacks for the Jets is out with mono, but still. Bills are 3-0. They're going up to Foxborough, I believe, this weekend. So that's going to be fun. Bills Mafia breaking tables, getting wild. So I'm excited to see some of that stuff on Instagram because that's always a blast to watch. AFC West, Chiefs, like I said, scoring a ton of points. Looking at some of the stats, they haven't scored as much as the Patriots. Not that means anything. They played the Dolphins, but I think the Patriots offense is going to be better than it was last year, and it's looking like their defense is better than last year too. That's where it comes down to for the Chiefs. They're going to score points. Can their defense, it's looking like it's improved so far. Then they took a tough Ravens offense, not shut them down, but did pretty good. Lamar Jackson's looking like a stud so far this year. That's been fun to watch. So Chargers, actually, I did see Melvin Gordon's playing. He's back. So that's a huge shot in the arm for them. He's a great back. I'm glad to see, he's ending his holdout. He just wants to play. I respect him trying to get the money. He's one of the best backs in the league, probably top 5, 6, 7, top 5, I would say, back in the league. So good for him, trying to get his money. Hopefully they can get that sorted out this offseason and get back and keep rolling for them. AFC North, like I talked about too, Lamar Jackson's been balling over there. Fun to watch. That's my guy too. He's on one of my fantasy teams. Brown's been a huge disappointment so far this year. Been a lot of talk about Baker too. They're saying, is he overrated? Can he get the job done? But I was, watching their game Sunday night. They were truly saying their biggest issue is their tackles. They don't have a great offensive line. And, Baker's a little on the short side. Not that that's a huge thing anymore, but it doesn't help. He's scrambling for his life back there. And some of it, too, I kind of thought he was a little quick to leave the pocket. So he's just in that habit right now of getting out and trying. That's some of the, things that happen when you have a mobile quarterback, too. They're more likely to get outside of the pocket and try to make some plays with their legs. But it seemed like he's a little too quick to get out, I would say. So hopefully they can get that turned around because it'd be a great story. They've been so long since they've made the playoffs. And I love, what some of those dudes, they're so fun to watch and fun to listen to talk, more importantly. So Steelers, terrible this year. Roethlisberger's out. They made that trade for Minka, which I don't really understand because they gave up a good amount for it. I mean, he's a great, great, great player, but they're not going anywhere this year. But then I'm going to say the AFC South is wide open. You know, the Texans are good. Can they be good enough, I guess? You know, the Colts, even though Luck retired Brissett, he's a stud. He's good. He's been balling out over there, too. You know, their defense is great. You know, that was their big claim to fame this offseason. They really improved their defense, which kind of held them back last year. So, you know, they're playing well on defense. Brissett's doing enough offensively. You know, they got weapons around him still. You know, Ebron, he's a solid tight end. You know, Ty, that's my guy, making plays on the outside. You know, he's great, deep threat, fast, catches everything. Fun to watch. But then the poor Jaguars and Titans, man. I was really high. We talked about this last week, I think, but I was really, really high on the Jags. They just really stumbled, man. I don't know. I mean, it's still early. They're only 1-2, but it's not. I mean, their starting quarterback goes down like first quarter of the game, or the first game. Minshew came in, did really well actually. So I really hope they can get it turned around. You know, they won their last game, but that whole Jalen Ramsey issues, that's going to be something to watch going forward. And if he's doesn't want to be there, you know, I don't know what they can exactly. Their asking price is high, which he's the top corner of the league, so rightfully so. But man, I'm just interested to see what happens with that situation because, I mean, you pretty much have to play him, but if you play him and he gets hurt, then nobody's going to want to trade for him. So it's kind of a pick your poison type deal, I guess. But if he's going to stay, play him, obviously. He's, like I said, top cornerback. But that's something I'm going to be watching here in the upcoming weeks for sure. But, yeah, got to love it. NFL, looking forward to the games this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of good games on. You know, Packers, Eagles get it started tomorrow night. So like I said, I wanted to get an episode out before the NFL started again for the week. It'll be interesting to see whatever happens with Thursday night football. It's not great games ever because, you know, Packers just played on Sunday, so they got 3 games off. Pretty much like Tramon Williams for the Packers. He's a defensive back. He said pretty much it's like cramming for a test the night before. So watch that as well. I mean, it's fun having a Thursday night game. You know, I get another night for football, NFL, you know, kind of takes the spotlight during this time. So, and I think that's really all I got to say about the NFL for tonight. You know, got any comments on some of the NFL vibe right now? Let me know. You know, comment on our stuff. Have fun with it. I'm having fun with it, so why not you? But I'm going to go ahead and a little shorter than I said than normal. You know, still got about 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night. Thanks for hanging out with me so far. You made it. You made it. Suffered through about 45 minutes of listening to me talk. So thanks so much, you know, checking me out. Had a blast. Always fun to kind of just go on and rant by yourself. Just pop out whatever comes into your mind, which can be scary, but usually it's good things. At least I hope it is. I'd like to think so. Yeah, I had a blast. Tim will be next week, hopefully. Talk to him, see what he thinks, get another episode out. Going to reach out to Carson hopefully here and see what he has to say. It'd be awesome if he came on. I had a blast with him. Like to hear some of the stuff, you know, the whole situation about just the money in general. And if he wants to talk about the other stuff too, you know, that'd be fun just to listen and discuss it a little bit. So yeah, had a blast tonight. You know, got to stay corn-fed for the week. Got to get your corn-fed fix in. So thanks for always checking us out. I'm going to go ahead and throw the handles out and probably get out of here. Let you guys go back to living like you should. Having fun. Not listening to me rant on. Make sure you also, if you let us know what you think about this whole situation with the Carson King, you know, the band situation. some of the controversial issues we've seen here in the last couple weeks. But if you haven't followed us on any of our social medias, make sure you do. We do a lot on there. We post polls, post some blog episodes or articles, I should say. Make some tweets, about scores and whatnot. So make sure to check us out. Our Twitter is @CornSports. Our Instagram is CornFedSports1. Our Facebook is facebook.com/CornFedSports1. And lastly, our blog website is cornfedsports1.blogspot.com. Well, y'all know what that means, right? You've officially been corn-fed.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.